much for joining us for the Victorian Government's Coffee Chat series. It's great to meet you.
Hi, Emma. Look, thank you very much for the invitation. It's wonderful to be able to catch up, and even better, it's a coffee invitation. So I'm always happy to share a coffee. I have a good supply here. Not quite up to the standards of my old coffee shop down in Clarendon Street in South Melbourne, but close.
Love that Melbourne connection, Tim. I'm certainly very Melbourne when it comes to coffee. I've got my flat white with my Milk Lab almond milk, which I love.
Very good.
Tim, do you mind to introduce yourself to our audience, including your association with Austcham in Singapore?
Yeah, look, thanks very much, Emma. I've been in Singapore now for the last 3 years, working with Surbana Jurong Group. Prior to that, I was actually based in Australia with SMEC, so one of the Surbana Jurong Group companies, a great Australian company with a great heritage. And you know, prior to that, I've been lucky enough to work in some wonderful places around the world, including the Middle East, across Europe, and through Southeast Asia. And in most locations, I've been able to find and work with the local Australian chamber. Big believer in helping to the Team Australia approach. And coming here to Singapore again, got involved with the chamber, and now currently sitting as one of the board members for the Australian Chamber for the last two and a half years.
Fantastic, Tim. The Victorian Government Trade and Investment Office in Southeast Asia, we're certainly very excited to have formed the recent partnership with Austcham in Singapore. I wanted to ask you, can you share with us some exciting projects that the Chamber is working on currently?
Look, the Chamber, like in times of crisis, I'll go back to GFC as well, you know, the Chamber becomes such an important way of joining different parts of industry together to understand what's happening with government, etc. as well. And I think, you know, there's a wonderful relationship between the Singapore and the Australian government at the moment. You know, we see ourselves very much as that bridge between government and industry, and with members at the centre of what we're trying to do. And we're really focused around getting some great industry groups up and going now, environmental sustainability and investment in Australia being two of the ones that we're really focused on. And I think the other exciting part for the Chamber at the moment is that we've actually got coming up a number of conversations with a variety of Singapore ministers. So with our connection with the High Commission here, we're able to give industry and business that level of access and opportunity to hear straight from the Singapore government and their ministers on what they actually see happening in the economy and in the business environment we have here.
Absolutely, Tim. I've seen that calendar of events. It really does look great. And certainly we're looking forward to being part of that environmental sustainability group that you've mentioned. Tim, I wanted to touch on the Singapore business environment. What do you consider are perhaps some of the key aspects that would be attractive to Victorian businesses seeking to start their export foray into Southeast Asia? Or perhaps are there particular trends that you're seeing at the moment that Victorian businesses could be capitalising upon?
Yeah, look, great question, and what a wonderful opportunity Singapore does offer at the moment for Australian businesses. The Chamber, we have a very vibrant and growing SME community that has a number of great examples of people coming into Singapore and establishing their businesses. I think Singapore is an environment that's not dissimilar to Australia. The type of regulation, the confidence in government processes, and in the way you can negotiate and position your business here. And it's a fantastic fulcrum to pivot into the region. So once you can establish a business here, you know, Singapore is set up to continue to grow that business through other parts of Southeast Asia, ASEAN and elsewhere. So I think that offers a degree of confidence to people coming in to set up their business. And you know, we've got a great team at the Chamber, for example, who provides a lot of help from time to time, and is a great source of information for new businesses and new individuals coming into Singapore and looking to establish their little place in our business environment here. I think also you asked about trends, and in particular, and I guess I think back to the commentary around the relationship with the governments at the moment. You know, sustainability, you know, digital economy are two areas that are you know, of fabulous interest and a real focus for Singapore, and as they are for Victoria and in fact other parts of Australia as well. And I think we've got some wonderful opportunities here. I mean, the agreements that have been put in place between Australia and Singapore are world leading in terms of the approach that's being taken.
I couldn't agree more, Tim. And you've touched on digital skills. It's certainly a very hot topic for governments across the region more broadly. And in August of this year, the Victorian government launched its $64 million digital jobs program with the objective of creating a new pipeline of talent to meet the digital skills needs of Victorian employers. And I understand that earlier this year, Surbana Jurong formed a partnership with Singapore's very own Institute of Technical Education to advance future-ready skills and digital capabilities, specifically in the built environment sector. Can you share with us a little bit about that Smart Digital Campus, what's planned? And I understand that it's affectionately known as L-Cube, is that right?
Yes, it is. And look, it's a great example of some of the principles that Surbana Jurong operates under. I mean, we're a leading brand here in Singapore, as well as around the region, and very focused ourselves on sustainability, digital, smart cities, and the improvement, I guess, of our built environment throughout this part of the world. We also partner with industry partners as well as educational partners alike, and it's a very important part of how we connect with our future employees, as well as continue to develop our own product and services to the market. And I think you talk about L-Cube, a great example of Surbana Jurong joining with an institute to continue to grow the next generation of technology and the practical application of technology in smart city environments. I think back to my time in Victoria as well. It was one of the leading elements of some of the things that Victoria has to offer. Some great products and some great initiatives that have come out of Victoria, and I think there's some wonderful opportunities here and around the region for that.
Absolutely, Tim. It's certainly a great initiative. Tim, I wanted to ask you for our final question during our coffee chat this morning. What is it that keeps you up at night? Or it could be from an Austcham or Surbana Jurong perspective. What's taking up a lot of your time?
Yeah, always a terrible question to have to answer, isn't it? So, we're in the final throes of the pandemic, moving into endemic stage, and certainly the health and well-being of our staff and friends and family has always been foremost. Other than that, drinking too much coffee during the afternoon. But from a business point of view, the uncertainty that sits across the region and the stop and start nature that we have had from a range of countries, I think around the region, Australia included, as we've all had to deal with the different stages of the pandemic and the different challenges that puts in front of us. So at the moment, it is about the risk that brings into the business environment, making good decisions to protect the value of your business and protect the service, and be able to really leverage off the shift from pandemic into endemic, and hopefully as we work through the next few months, a real settling down of the business environment.
I can only hope so, Tim. Absolutely. Well, Tim, that brings us to the end of our questions today. Thank you again for joining us for our coffee chat series, and we look forward to seeing you in Singapore.
Thank you very much, Emma. I've enjoyed the chat, and I'm more than happy to have another coffee at any time.
Sounds great. Thanks, Tim.